Hey everybody, what is up? My name is Martin and welcome to 2K Central. So we recently got episode 2 of the World of New Bordeaux video series. Now I wasn't going to do a breakdown of this video because I usually turn a 45-second trailer into a 10-minute breakdown, but I decided I'll do one, but I won't delve as deep as I usually do. Alright, that sounded kind of dirty, I apologise. So we actually got a little description from the official Mafia 3 page that said this is the second of 6 interviews with John Donovan. Honestly, I don't know what to think about that. I feel like they've shown enough of the game, personally. But I get they've clearly thought about their marketing plan, and 1 or 2 videos a week up until release seems to be the plan. So we shall do a breakdown regardless. But I'm giving you a fair warning, spoiler alert. There's a few key kills and plot twists that were given away in this video, so you have been warned. So tape 1 was all about the districts in the game. Tape 2 has John Donovan talking about the crime rackets and how Lincoln Clay can damage Sal Marcano's income and how the chain of command works in the game. So we immediately get Donovan being questioned by the Senate during August 25th, 1971. So 3 years after the events of 1968 in which Lincoln Clay took down the Marcanos, we assume. Now the first thing to point out is the footage that has been projected. It shows a little bit of the destruction that was caused by Lincoln Clay, and once again we get a view of the board that shows key members of Sal Marcano's criminal empire. I'll come back to this board a little later in the video. It then shows us a clear example of some of the chaos Lincoln Clay has caused. We see Tony DeRezzo, poor guy who runs downtown, laying dead on top of this car. As we all know, Lincoln throws Tony from the top of the Royal Hotel, which we obviously seen previously during the E3 trailer. It then cuts to a glimpse of a burning building, which is most likely Sammy's bar. If you compare this to the Mafia 3's reveal trailer, you'll see the resemblance in the building's structure. So yeah, I do think it is Sammy's. The Senate then asks Donovan why did Lincoln cause so much destruction as he took down Sal Marcano, and Donovan replies by saying Sal pretty much owns New Bordeaux, so Lincoln could treat the city as one big target, meaning any damage you do to the city ultimately affects Sal Marcano. It then gives us a fade-in image of Lincoln to make it seem like he's overlooking the city, which is kind of cool. Okay, I need to touch on this because I know people will scream at me for not talking about it, because there's a lot of people who have missed our previous breakdowns. So yeah, there is a photo with Joe and Vito here, but it's just a screen grab from Mafia 2, and this clip was actually in a previous trailer, so don't get too excited. It doesn't really confirm much, but it's still enough to make us smile because it's a tease of what's to come. But we'll find out what happened to Joe by giving Vito districts and helping him on the side. It then transitions from Vito and Joe to another duo in Sal Marcano and his son Georgie, who's in the background of the image. As this is happening, John Donovan is talking about Sal being untouchable in his own eyes. And here we get a prime example of the information John Donovan gives to Lincoln Clay. And as you can see, this one is about Tony DeRezzo, so it's got some key details of Tony's weaknesses and gang rackets he's running in downtown. Now, interesting little note, this profile is actually presented to Lincoln in a magazine. You can see some advertisements and the title of an article, Beware the Pope. But obviously this is also Lincoln doesn't look suspicious to the public as he reads a document. And I'm sorry, it's not even worth mentioning that, but I just love small details like this. The video then switches to Sal having a conversation with who we assume is Georgie. Based on that, I'm assuming Georgie is talking about feeling some remorse for shooting Lincoln Clay and wiping out the black mob, and he asks Sal how he deals with moments like this, and Sal literally replies by saying he feels nothing and isn't ashamed by it.
I don't have it in me to feel shame for the things I've done. Never have.
So yeah, he's quite the psychopath. We then get one of the most exciting moments from the whole video. We get a glimpse of an auto service in which Lincoln is actually pulling into, so a little further confirmation of car modification and repairs, etc. So all you car nuts out there, you gotta be excited. It then cuts to this image in which we see a sign for cigarettes called Big Break. So light and mild, what a relief. The reason I'm pointing this out, I love that the advertisements are still staying true to the times. It's something so small that makes the experience more immersive, and cigarettes back in the day were promoted by advertisers as being kinda good for you, and they tiptoed around the whole cigarettes giving you cancer thing. We then see Lincoln doing what he does best: violence, kneeing, headbutting, hitting people with his weapon, again, choke slams, and just regular choking. Meanwhile, during all this violence, John Donovan is talking about how Lincoln / you, the player, can damage Sal's criminal empire and how you're going to take him down. By starting at the bottom, by robbing heroin dealers in Delroy Hollow, or destroying the PCP labs in Frisco Fields, then infiltrating their safe houses and interrogating their lieutenants for valuable information. And as always, it wouldn't be a Mafia video without a torture scene. So we get to see some more of this interrogation scene with Lincoln and Vito is really going to town on this poor guy's face as he tries to get information. It then cuts to a future scene with this poor guy. Clearly Lincoln and Vito allowed him to live after getting some information from him, but it seems like he either lied or didn't give Lincoln enough details, and Lincoln has tracked him down once again to finish what he started. And Lincoln says,
Doctor, then you better tell me something worth hearing.
And he puts on a mean face, which is bloody terrifying. It then moves on to John Donovan explaining the other things Lincoln can do to damage Sal Marcano and his underbosses. So he basically says you can kill the pimps in the French ward, which will ultimately take money out of Uncle Lou's pocket. We then get an image of Lou living the good life as he smiles with 3 questionable women. It then switches to multiple examples of other questionable women. We get to see some of the prostitution in the game, which Lincoln can obviously interrupt by killing off pimps, etc. And we also see Lincoln take out this fat dude who seems to have clown makeup on. I swear people are into some freaky shit, but we actually see this guy in part 1. He's kind of doing some teasing. Disgusting. The video then switches to Oscar Sabato being shot in the head. We seen this during the gameplay reveal at E3. Oscar works under Handsome Harry, who works under Uncle Lou. So you can see how the chain of command works in this game. So if you do enough damage to Harry's operations by killing his pimps, lieutenants, and stealing his drug supplies, that then forces Harry to come out of hiding and address the problem, which happens to be Lincoln Clay. This then allows you to take him out. Once you deal with Harry, you'll be given a set piece mission in which you can take out a key member of the Marcano family, Uncle Lou. Obviously we had this spoiled on us in the gameplay reveal at E3. Uncle Lou is losing so much money that he angers Sal Marcano. To try and make the money back, Uncle Lou holds a fundraising event with a local politician on his boat. Lincoln sets an explosive off, which causes complete chaos. He then hops on the boat, fights his way through, and eventually gets his hands on Uncle Lou. And he ends up dead on horseback, which is random, with a sign around his neck that reads, "Re-elect Jacobs." The video then transitions to Lincoln shooting his way through the streets of New Bordeaux, to this moment in which Lincoln chases down Roman, aka the Butcher. So this is one of Sal Marcano's enforcers, and he's actually the one that gives Thomas Burke that lump by breaking his leg under the orders of Sal Marcano. So it's very personal for Burke, and it's actually a major part of the deal between the two. Burke will only help Lincoln take down Sal Marcano if he's given enough districts, and he wants to deal with the Butcher personally. But it would be pretty cool if there's a choice to kill him yourself, just to annoy Burke, which is kind of funny to me. Lincoln also has another badass line in this trailer, as the Butcher fires an AK that no longer has any ammo.
Should have saved a bullet or 2.
Unlucky mate. And here we see Enzo Conte, named Butcher, who is also a member of Sal Marcano's crime family, and he actually runs a stolen goods racket out of Barclay Mills. So basically he steals goods from a train in the area and then sells it off in the black market. But based on this clip, it seems like Lincoln shot his way through this warehouse and finds Enzo hiding in the back, in which they have a little standoff. So perhaps we're given the option to let him live and work for us here, hopefully. It then transitions to a better view of Barclay Mills and shows a variety of the different things in which the Italian Mafia sell in the black market. We see a glimpse of a warehouse filled with weapons, Uzis, rockets, you name it. We then get to see one of the most exciting screenshots from the trailer, a collection of badass cars in a garage. Just look at them. So the Italian Mafia will actually be selling off these cars, but I really hope Lincoln has a garage like this in the game for storage, because I swear if we're forced to destroy these, I'll be super annoyed, because what a waste. They look bloody glorious. I don't even like cars that much, and it's got me excited. The video then transitions from a beautiful sight to a really messed up scene in which the racist Southern Union seem to be auctioning off this poor guy. And you get some mixed emotions from the crowd. Some people see it as a normal thing, while others are shocked and outraged by what they're seeing. And as per usual, we get Lincoln beating the shit out of a variety of different people in a variety of different ways, destroying a boat, and we then get this chase scene. Now clearly Lincoln is driving, but that seems to be Enzo Conte shooting from the passenger seat. So yeah, Enzo is a possible ally for Lincoln Clay. So what we seen previously in the warehouse was a standoff. The two clearly had a conversation and worked out a deal. It did seem like Enzo had a good operation going, and perhaps Lincoln seen him as the best man to run the racket and perhaps trusted him. So once again, an example of the player choice in the game. So hopefully we get the option to do that with almost all of Sal's underbosses. It then transitions to Lincoln entering what looks to be a storage area. We then get a massive explosion. We then get Sal Marcano completely losing his shit. Lincoln Clay, every low-life ball of piss in this city smells blood in the water, my blood. It then shows everyone who previously worked under Sal Marcano, who has the possibility of working with Lincoln Clay. So based on what Sal said, his underbosses are starting to realise that his reign is coming to an end, and they've decided to join the winning team, which happens to be ours, Lincoln Clay's, hopefully. And if you freeze here as Sal's getting emotional, it seems to be Georgie that he's speaking to. I know you can't see much, but I do think it's him. And we've seen both Sal and Georgie have disagreements like this in previous trailers too.
You are Sal Marcano.
We wouldn't be in this fucking mess if you'd done what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, I shot him right in the head.
You shot him once!
So it's a little hint that their relationship will start to decline and eventually, hopefully, fall apart. We then get John Donovan talking about the last thing Sal Marcano wants. It is for you, Lincoln Clay, to destroy his criminal empire and replace it with your own. It then gives us an example of the sources of income scattered around New Bordeaux. You can see how much the racket is making, who owns it, and what type it is. We then get to see the happy family, the 3 people who will help you and Lincoln Clay build this criminal empire: Vito, Cassandra, and Thomas Burke. Beautiful Irishman. Also, a missable detail is the board behind Lincoln Clay that has all of the key members of the Italian Mafia. Let's just do a little recap of everyone that's on the board. We got Enzo on the bottom right, Tony DiRezzo in the middle, possibly Richie Doucette on the left, but I could be wrong, Olivia Marcano on the right, Uncle Lou, Tommy, and obviously Sal Marcano on the top. And if we move on a little, we'll see Lincoln's former friend, Georgie, on the right. Now, the interesting thing about the inclusion of Georgie in this board is if we go back to the previous board during Donovan's meeting in 1971, you'll see that Georgie isn't included on the board. Now, I'm not going to delve too deep into that, but it's rather interesting. Perhaps Sal and Georgie's relationship completely breaks down, and maybe there's a possibility that Lincoln no longer sees him as a target. But I want to see your theories in the comments below. And honestly, there wasn't really anything else that was worth delving into. We just got some gameplay of Lincoln shooting, Lincoln being a cool guy who refuses to look at explosions, and finally we get Uncle Lou riding horseback. Sorry guys, stop making that joke. But yeah, that is the end of the video. So this was tape 2. There's 4 more to come. So yeah, by the time all of these videos are out, we will be 1 week away from the release of Mafia 3. But yeah, what rackets are you guys looking forward to destroying or capturing the most? Honestly, I cannot wait to deal with the Southern Union for obvious reasons. But yeah, as always guys, thank you so much for watching. We always appreciate it. Mafia 3 will be released October 7th on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. For more Mafia related content, stay tuned here on 2K Central. Yeah, take care guys, have a good day.
Everything's absolutely splendid. Walking down the street and you hear that heavy beat, can't help but walk your feet down. Always leave me peace.